We'll now recognize Mr. Moran from Texas for 5 minutes.
Mr. Haller, I'm going to pick up where Mr. Smucker just left off, and I'm going to give you a chance to answer those questions, because that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, was the benefits of the franchise model, what this joint employer rule that's been put in place by the NLRB is going to do to franchises and, frankly, other businesses as well. So let's start generally with the franchise model. Talk about some of the benefits about the franchise model and why folks choose to become franchise owners.
Well, I appreciate the question, Mr. Moran, and thank you also, Mr. Smucker. Not everyone is going to be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. Some people may want support and still want to be a small business owner, and that is exactly what the franchise business model does. It allows anyone from anywhere to go into business for themselves, but not by themselves. And the franchisor's job is to give that franchisee the tools and the resources and the support, marketing, and a brand. And in exchange for a fee and an ongoing royalty, the franchisee essentially has a playbook and also a peer network of other franchisees running that same business in their local community. In franchising, generally 94% of the money stays in that local community, outside of the royalty that's sent back to the franchisor. Franchisor is not in the business of employing the individuals at that business. The franchisee understands the local market. They support local charities and things like that. That is the essence of building the American dream through the franchise model.
Yeah, you used the term American dream there, and I was going to mention that it really is one of the best ways, a best pathway to the American dream. And a lot of folks access that because they don't have a whole lot of capital up front to invest, to begin their businesses. But through the franchise model, somebody that's already established kind of a way of doing business and has that branding out there can help them get started, and then they can run it locally. And as a result of that, with those local connections, those local work, the local effort and attention, they can become successful business owners in their own right, rather than having to have tons of capital up front. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
So who are some of the major beneficiaries of the franchise business model?
Well, as I mentioned in my testimony, franchising has greater rates of ownership among women, among veterans, among minorities, among immigrants. It has given this incredible pathway for anybody from anywhere to come to this country or be in this country for an underrepresented community and own and operate a small business by partnering with the right brand.
And those are folks that we want to provide a pathway to ownership in the business world. At least from my perspective, I want to see folks that maybe have had a disadvantaged opportunity in the past to be able to successfully move on and to climb the ladders of success in America and achieve that American dream. And so I think the franchise model is a great way to do that. I know that Oxford Economics released a research on franchising that said that nearly 1/3, 26% of franchises are owned by minorities, compared with 17% of independent businesses. On average, black-owned franchises earn 2.2 times more than black-owned independent businesses. Hispanic-owned franchises earn 1.6 times more than Hispanic-owned independent businesses, and Asian-owned franchises earn 1.4 times more than Asian-owned independent businesses. Those seem like good statistics to me. What do you think?
I would agree those are good statistics, Congressman, and I think, as I mentioned in my testimony, these are all the things that are at risk with respect to this joint employer rule that 800,000 franchise locations are facing in each and every one of your districts.
Yeah, this new joint employer rule by the NLRB starts using what I believe are vague, ambiguous, kind of overly broad terms that are going to effectively make everybody a joint employer in a franchise relationship, and beyond that in a number of other relationships as well. It hurts the independent contractor relationship, certainly, but tell me a little bit about what you see in that joint employer rule that is going to ruin the franchise business model.
Well, it moves the goalposts in the middle of a 10 or 20-year franchise relationship between the brand and the franchisee. And businesses want a bright line test. The NLRB admits this rule will be applied on a case-by-case basis over God knows how long. And the NLRB has proposed a standard based on unexercised control of a non-exclusive list of actions. So as I mentioned in my testimony, I encourage anybody to ask the NLRB, what does this mean?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was thinking about it yesterday because when one of these factors that may be an indirect control, and we don't even know how expansive that's going to be, or this new set of essential terms and conditions, which now is broader and broader and broader under the NLRB rule. When one of those exists, now the franchisor will be deemed to be the employer of record along with the franchisee. Well, now the franchisor is going to have to exercise broad control over every little detail that goes on, and effectively that relationship is going to be severed between the franchisor and the franchisee, and it's going to be combined.
We call it move over, I'll drive, and that is not why an individual got into the franchise business model.
Yeah, and I think it's contrary to the American dream, contrary to the rules of capitalism, and with that, I would yield back.